Hey, what's up, everybody? It's TJ with Sanctified Homes, and today we're going to talk about, should I build a home or buy an existing one? So, common question we get asked all the time from a real estate perspective, like buying a home, but also building. So, should I build or should I buy an existing home? Right? So it's a tough question, and really somebody has to sit down with you, or you need to sit down and think about these things yourself that we're going to kind of talk about here. But you have to look at your specific situation and go, okay, does this fit my needs? You know, if I'm looking to build, what is my budget? What do we need in that house? What are we looking to do? Is this a long-term home where we're going to be here a while? Are we only going to be here a year or two? Is it something where you'll have an in-law suite? Like, there's so many different things that are going on now with building, especially we're looking and seeing more of a trend for parents or kids even living, well, kids for sure have been living with their parents longer, but now we're seeing parents going to live with their kids, so we're seeing in-law suites, stuff like that. So you have to think about, what do you need in your home now? And then what is the long-term goal and vision for that? And does that fit in line with your budget? So building, first of all, typically more expensive than buying something that's already existing in almost all cases. So we're in Dane County and the surrounding counties here in southern Wisconsin. So I'm only speaking about where we are here when I'm talking about building. So if you're in a different part of the country listening to this, I don't know what the costs are where you are. I don't know what land costs are. Maybe you have cheaper labor. Maybe your labor is more expensive. Same thing with materials. So building here right now, everyone wants to talk about price per square foot, but the fact of the matter is, when you're building a home, you kind of, the way we build, you decide what that budget is based on your selections in the house. Now, when people talk about a builder grade, like builder grade to me is like I'm building an apartment building and it's lower grade stuff. That's not how we build when we do spec homes. So I can't really price to that grade because we don't do that. Now, there's builders that do. You have tract home builders who have the same homes, simple roof lines. They buy the same size windows. They have economies of scale. They can build a cheaper home than, say, a custom builder. So if you're just looking for a new home with a tract builder and you want to pick one of their plans, homes are tight in on top of one another, totally fine. You're probably going to get a better cost than if you're going with a custom home builder and you're finding a lot somewhere, or tearing a house down on the lake, or buying a lot out in the country and we have to clear the lot, we got to put a road in. There's so many costs that go into that. Even if you're just buying a lot in a neighborhood, you know, in your surrounding community. So there's a lot of things to think about when you're building your house, but it is a little bit more expensive in most cases than if you're going to buy an already existing home that somebody has lived in. One, if I'm buying a home from the 90s, it was built, you know, in the 90s, things were a lot cheaper then. So that home was built for probably half of, or 75% of the material costs for your home today. So you're going to get more space. Now, is it going to be built up to today's codes, today's standards? Are you going to have to do a lot of remodeling to get it to what you want? These are the type of things you have to factor in when you're looking at that. And then the other thing I always bring up to people is, are you going to be here a long time? Is this your forever home? Or are you like, I'm only going to be here 2 or 3 years? If you're 2 or 3 years, I don't know if building is necessarily the best financial decision based on what I see in the economy right now. Now, that can totally change and be different. If rates all of a sudden went down to 3 or 4% again, I would be like, building is so smart. You get what you want. Your payment's super cheap. The fact of the matter is rates are a little high. So these are things you have to think about. So depending on when you're seeing this video, you have to factor what's going on in the economy. Third, if you're buying an existing home, you're not having to wait and rent and make all these decisions. And the fact of the matter is, if you look and talk to people that have built, it is stressful. Yes, there's a ton of fun parts with it. There's a ton of things we love about it. You have a lot of stuff to pick out. It's not just like we pick the floor plan and, you know, some trim and some light fixtures. Like, it's everything. What is the height of the basement ceiling? Do you want a water softener, a radon system, security system? Do you want some electrical stuff run for an electric car? What about running electric up to the roof so that you're solar ready? What about once the drywall goes in, what type of texture do you want on the drywall? You want flat? You want orange peel, knockdown? You want sanded drywall? with the little flecks of sand in it. There are so many decisions that go into building a house that is yours. Now, it's worth it when you're done and you have this amazing product, but it's kind of like riding a roller coaster when you're building a house versus if you can buy one. The trick is right now, it's still hard to buy a house because of all of the competition. So you have to be able to sit down with your builder, your real estate agent, somebody who has built before, and then just with you and whoever you're building your house with, and talk about what are the options you have. What is your long-term goal? Is this just a financial decision? Is this our forever home that we're going to raise our kids in and we're going to be here a long time, where you have time on your side, right? Like if I was buying my first house or the first house I did buy, I wouldn't do that today, but it was perfect and made sense back then. Now, if I was going to go build a house today, and actually where we're sitting right now is on a screen-in porch, I put this on my house and I won't get the money back out of it for the cost that I put into it. But I knew that going into it because I plan on being here a long time, and I honestly don't want bugs and mosquitoes biting me, and I enjoy having a screen-in porch so I can be outside more. So those are all things you need to think about. So at the end of the day, I'm getting long-winded, but you have to just sit down and look at all of those pieces. If you're in our area, I'm totally happy to sit down, talk to you, or you're somewhere else and just have some questions, like reach out, I'll tell you what I'm thinking at that point. We hope you guys understand that like markets are different everywhere, and even there's pockets in Wisconsin and near us where you got to look and go, okay, does it make sense to build a house, let's say $1 million home in this specific neighborhood if prices don't warrant that? Because there's sometimes that we have people that will build a home way above what the neighborhood would call for. And you never want to be the most expensive home in a neighborhood setting. Now, if you're building out rural, you're building on the lake, these are different conversations, but you don't want to be the cheapest home. You don't want to be the most expensive home. So with that said, guys, make sure you hit like, subscribe. Let us know if there's any other questions you want us to answer revolving around building a new home, what things to think about, talk about, do. We have tons of other videos. If you follow our social and especially our YouTube channel, we're always trying to put stuff out to help you, the consumer, right? Like, I understand there's tons of people that are showing builders neat tricks and stuff they can do, but we want to provide value to you, so whether or not you work with us, you can make the right decision for you and your family. Anyway, make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow us, let us know. And in the meantime, don't forget to raise your standard. We'll talk to you guys soon.